What's up, Hoopers? Right now, the Vegas odds have the Los Angeles Lakers as the 9th best team with the best odds to win the championship. And according to Caesars Sportsbook and a few others, they're actually number 8, right up there with the Miami Heat. With all of the talk of Russell Westbrook still being in the locker room, with all of the talks of these trades coming from the New York Knicks, from the Utah Jazz, from the Pacers, and even some like the Spurs or the Hornets, there is so much to unpack if the Lakers are going to be title contenders. I have the 3 best scenarios that will help the Lakers move up the list, and to be number 9 right now with the mess that they have, these moves would instantly take them to the top. I am your NBA white guy. I talk all things NBA hoops from a hooper's perspective. And if you love that kind of content, then make sure you tap that subscribe button and you click the bell so you're notified every time I do a new video. With all of the talk that's going out there in the NBA news and buzz, there are a bunch of trades that the Lakers are trying to make. Well, there's also a lot of rumors and buzz out there that Pat Bev and Westbrook are going to make this thing work.
Pat, you and Russ have battled a lot in this league. I don't know if it's ever been personal for you, but what's it like to be his teammate now? What have the conversations been like?
Super excited. And I don't mean to cut you off, I'm sorry, but super excited. Remember, I was asked this question, I think a couple, 2-3 years ago about someone I always wanted to play with. He was the first name. Obviously, you know, I've been knowing Bron since I was a baby, but rookie in this league, so obviously I want to play with him. But just a player with that, you know, competitive spirit, that fire, that will, that dog, you know, that nastiness, that grit, you know. To have a running mate like that, you know, I've never had that, so I'm super excited. I'm super excited to see where it goes.
So I've broken it down to what I truly believe from a Hooper's perspective, the 3 best scenarios that can move the Lakers up into title contention. Your job at the end of this is to rank which one you think is the best or add your secret recipe per se. From a Hooper's perspective, your Hooper's perspective, number 1 is just making this work out. Now, a lot of you are going to be like, how can Westbrook right now make the team better? Title contenders. Now, this is the thing that you have to realize. Okay, going into next season, they will have a lot more cap space. They would have those 2 picks. They could go out there and get a haul. So that's the only perspective I really come from. But the second one is if and only if Westbrook realizes, hey, this is the latter end of my career. If I continue to play at the way that I did last season, I'm done. This is my last season, 47 mil and cash out. And some of you might be like, heck yeah, 50 mil and cash out. No, these dudes are hoopers. They love playing. Look at a guy like Derrick Rose in the New York Knicks. He's still hanging on and playing because he accepted a role. He's shooting 41%. He's stretching defenses and he loves playing basketball. This is what Westbrook can do. He can completely change his name in the narrative. This is a guy that like 3 years ago was on Slam Magazine as like one of the most explosive players ever. You got to realize this guy loves basketball just as much or more than any player out there. But that also means that he has to do one thing. He's got to listen to LeBron. He's got to listen to AD. He's got to listen to Pat Bev, and he's got to make amends, and he's got to own up to it, right? It's just like when you teach your kids, own up to it. Apologize, say I'm going to do anything I can to make it better, right? Then everybody forgets and everybody wants to work with you. But when you continue to just kind of tell lies, be the way that you are, nobody wants to be around that, right? Here's what he has to really do. He has to go in and tell his guys, look, whatever you need from me, I'm down. Now, he might say this in a way, but he's not showing it. This is going to allow just the conversations to start. I think a backcourt, honestly, with a Pat Bev, and I would move Kendrick Nunn up, and Westbrook, bring him off the bench. So the best scenario, if you're going to roll with Westbrook, is he acknowledges this backup role. He can get traded next year, or not even traded. He'll get on to other teams where they need a bona fide point guard, and he can get back into that role. But he's never going to get the chance if he doesn't reinvent his name. And so coming off of the bench, he would really bring a lot of value to the Lakers. I think, and not even think, if I was coaching Kendrick Nunn, you're starting. You are a walking bucket. You're a baby Kyrie. You can get 20, 25 a night. That means you're going to have nights of 30, 40. That means you're going to be shooting at a high level. That means people got to be watching you at all times. The defenses, everybody. And that means LeBron can go downhill. That means AD can work. That means everybody's working. You got guys out on the perimeters like I think AR-15's about to have a year. Everybody can now have a little bit more space to shoot. So that's what you have to do with Westbrook, and I think it could work. And right now, they're ranked as the 8th or 9th team in the entire league to win the championship. That's pretty good considering that everybody's writing them off. The number 2 situation that I think would work best for the Lakers is some kind of trade with the New York Knicks. Now, obviously, they missed out on Donovan Mitchell. What are you doing, Knicks? You are so irrelevant in one of the largest, if not largest markets, and you can't trade one of those 5,000 picks you have to get freaking Donovan Mitchell, and you let him go to the Cavs in the East. He's still gonna, he's gonna haunt you guys. And I'm thinking those Cavs are gonna be nasty this year, at least probably 4th, 5th in the East. So Knicks, you guys suck, but they have a lot of draft capital, and they're probably wanting to increase that, right? They could get one of those unprotected picks from the Lakers. You got to realize that even though they're way out there, they're unprotected. They're very highly coveted trades right now that the Lakers have. So they could also do that. Now, the trade that would include the Knicks is getting rid of Westbrook in one of those picks, and in return, the Lakers would get Evan Fournier, Derrick Rose, and Cam Reddish. 2 of the guys I love. One of them, little shaky, and the one that's a little shaky might surprise you. But the home run right out of the gate for me is Evan Fournier. Now, again, this is not like the greatest trade out there, but this is a better roster than what they have right now. Again, from the Hoopers' perspective, understanding what you have to do to win starts right here. Mentally, in the locker room, chemistry, getting along. Those teams, like especially back in the days in Miami that LeBron was on, what did you see them doing 24/7? Videos together. They were all laughing. They were hugging. They did everything together. They were tight. That stuff wins championships. I'm not going to lie to you. Some of the best seasons I ever had in my life is because we were freaking units. We would have done anything for ourselves and the head coach. They don't have that right now. I do believe they have it in a coach with Ham. We'll see how that works out. But with Westbrook, it's just kind of gone. The dudes you're bringing in, they're not expecting to go in there and be the top dog. They just want to win. They've been in bad teams. They've never won championships, and they want to make a name for themselves. It also allows them to extend their careers. Number 1, Evan Fournier, he played 80 games last season. He shot 40+% from the 3. That means averaging 20 points a game again, too. And I didn't even mention that, 20 points a game. That's somebody that the defense always has to watch. And what has he never done? Played with LeBron James, where everything is going to be exploited. He's going to be on every news channel. If he goes off for 20, 25, 30 points, everybody in the world's going to know it. If he went off for 40 points last year, nobody knew about it because nobody cared about the Knicks except for locals. But that's what I'm saying. Now he's going to get more attention. That means every game plan's got to be like, okay, we got to watch Fournier. He's a walking bucket. He's 6'7". He averages 1.5 steals a game, and he's a foreign basketball player. They're just mentally tough. I got to play with 4 of them on my college team. Those dudes play at a very young age with all old talent, and they come in tough, ready to fight. So I kind of love that personality, and that's probably somebody that Pat Bev can go, all right, this is my ride or die. He's going to go hard. So I like that. Cam Reddish, I think, is the shakiest one because he's just a dude that, he's bounced around a lot. He's got all the physical dimensions and aspects to be an incredible player, but he's just not been in the right system. Thibodeau's system over there, it's just not the right one for him, and he's already basically ruled Cam Reddish out. But again, Reddish is looking to make this career actually work, not be in the leagues 3-4 years and out. This is a highly touted player who is just not given his thing yet. So he could be an X factor. Will he be? I have no idea. If he got into that LeBron James system, probably came in as like a 6th, 7th, 8th man, which is very good in a rotation. That's playoff rotation. And he goes out there and plays incredible D. He stretches defense. He moves and gets open. He sets screens, pops to the 3-point line, hits shots. It's really going to help this team out. He's also, trying to get contracts. So this is something, again, if he can get that mental toughness built into him at a very young age from some of these, older, more established players, it's really going to help him out. So I think, young talent. Now we're getting a lot of minutes and games out of those 2 players alone. The third one's Derrick Rose. He's just an incredible role player. He has played in the league for so long, and I just did a video on this, but the last 2 seasons alone, he shot like 41% from 3, and he's averaging 15+ points a game. So again, this is a guy who can go out and get you 25 a night. He can really stretch the floor, and he does everything opposite that Westbrook does. Westbrook never acknowledged that he's a role player, and he couldn't shoot. So everybody out there, they're going to have to know that Derrick Rose is out there and that he can knock these shots down. When he was a Chicago Bull during those epic years, he was only shooting like 20% from 3. So he's accepted it. He's moved on. He's doing his thing. I'll remind you guys real quick, please go down and hit that like button if you're liking the NBA White Guys stuff. It really helps me out. And you're going to comment down below and rank which one of these 3 scenarios is best for the Lakers. But the number 3 trade I believe is the best thing for the Lakers is with the Utah Jazz. it's so easy to see how well this would help. Now, I love getting Bogdanovic. I think out of all the players now that are really available, he's one of the better ones. Now, I do agree with the Buddy Hield, Miles Turner. Turner kind of gets hurt a lot, but man, that starting lineup with, Pat Bev, Miles Turner, Buddy Hield, LeBron, and AD, it's scary. And I think they have incredible, role players with Kendrick Nunn, AR-15, Juan Toscano, Damian Jones. Like, it's a deep team. But I just don't think it's going to happen. So when I talk about the 3 most likely scenarios, Indiana wanted THT, those 2 picks, and they wanted the Lakers to take the Tice deal. So they were asking a fortune. It just tells me they're not really as interested as getting rid of these players. Now, I could be totally wrong. And Pelinka, go do your thing and get those players then. But I just think with the Utah Jazz, we all know what they want. They want as much draft capital as possible. Those 2 unprotected picks. Look, Danny Ainge would be an absolute hero. He already is with the drafts that he got. Man, the stuff he got for Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, now getting 2 more picks from the Lakers. Dude, I think it would be a home run, but you would have to give up those 2. I love having Conley. Again, role player, shoots super high percentage, very tough. He's not going to come in and want to be the absolute star. I love Bojan Bogdanovic. I think, 6'8", again, a foreign player, tough as nails, can create shots, very tall, releasing shot, tough to block. This is a guy who's going to completely change the offense of the Lakers. He's confident too. When you put on the purple and gold, you guys will admit it's a whole different ball game. Every night you have the attention of every news outlet, every player, everybody watching, and the pressure gets to people. And I think he's when you watch him play, he's just confident. Like, even if he misses a couple shots, when you're a hooper, you realize there's guys out there, they just don't care if they miss shots because they know eventually it's going to go in, right? And what does your good teammates tell you? I don't care if you're missing. Keep shooting. I know you can hit. Catch back rhythm. That's something that he can do. Clarkson's a guy, maybe you bring in a Clarkson. Obviously, he's just really started to ascend. We like young ascending players, and he's a guy that, to be honest, you could have him. He's he makes the bench deeper, but I would honestly play probably, Kendrick Nunn. Now, we haven't seen him come off the injury, but before the injuries, Kendrick Nunn was, I thought, starting to ascend to all-star level. That guy is scary good, and you got Austin Reeves, but this is a trade that I really feel would make the Lakers incredible. Your job now, rate it down below. Was it 1, 2, or 3? 1, 2, 3 into the 4. I'm your NBA white guy, and I gotta go. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and you hit the like button. All right, homies, until my next video, we'll catch you later.